everyone, welcome to my corner of the world. Today I have a 3D project to share with you, and I'm using it to feature some of the new products from the July to December 2021 mini catalogue. So it's this cute little box, only when you take the lid off, it's actually an exploding box, and it fits this little Yankee candle. I found this in a shop when I was visiting a friend in Pennsylvania, and I've not seen them this particular size before, so I bought one, and I wished I'd bought more, but this one is iced berry lemonade, and it's an absolutely delicious smell. So I'm going to use this video to show you how I made this exploding box. So we're starting with the designer series paper, because that was my starting point for my colours. And I've chosen to use the Blackberry Beauty pack of papers, and they are exactly as described. They are beautiful. They have gold foiling on one side, and then on the other side there, they don't have the foiling, but they have lovely colours and designs. So nice autumny sort of type of images. This one is absolutely stunning, isn't it, there? And then this one has got birds as well as sort of leaves and berries and stuff like that. And then I think then this one. So on the one I just showed you, the one I designed, I chose this paper. And on the one I'm going to share with you on this video is this paper. Now, you want to choose a paper that hasn't got a really clearly defined direction, and that just makes it easy for when you want to cut the bits up and attach them. You haven't got to worry about matching patterns and stuff. So this one is fairly random, and then this one at first I kind of thought had a bit of a direction, but when I looked closely I could see that, you know, we've got some little leaves and things going downwards. Some of the birds go this way, some of the birds go that way. So that's the one I chose to go with for this particular box. So whereas I did this box using crumb cake, I'm going to do this one using Blackberry Bliss, and that's because it's just going to show up. The paper is just going to show up a lot better than against the crumb cake. So I'm starting with a piece 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then I've used my trimmer, and I have scored it 2 inches all the way round. So that's my base. And then this is my lid, and I have cut this piece 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. And then it's been scored at 5/8 all the way around. Now, I can hear you groaning when I talk about 5/8, but if you look at this, at the trimmer, you'll actually see that the 8ths are really clearly marked, even 16th. So if you needed to go to a 16th. So with this trimmer, it's really, really easy to be able to make in those fine cuts. So I'm going to work with my base, and my first thing I'm going to do is I am going to mark up where I want to cut. So I've got my ruler and a pencil, and I'm going to mark. Now, you don't need to mark, but to be honest with you, I prefer to, because then I can get my scissors lined up. So you can see, if I get this, probably wasn't the best colour to choose, but that's coming up nicely. So I've gone from this corner to this cross piece, this piece where the lines cross, the scores cross, and then the same on the other side. And then I am just going to go, hopefully not getting my head in camera, I'm going to go from the other corner to there. And then there I've got my pieces marked. Now these are going to be my cutting lines. Now I could do it with my trimmer, but I found that if you get a pair of scissors with long blades, this is why I like to mark it, because I can line up with my scissors on that corner and I can put them sufficiently in so that they line up with that piece there. So I'm just going to quickly cut those 4 lines. Okay. There we go. And then I have my eraser. Here it is. And I can just take those lines out. So they can't be seen. There. So that's that part done. Now with my bone folder, I'm going to be folding all my folds. Now, I know that there's videos out there on making exploding boxes, etc. And I have made them myself, larger than this. But as I say, I wanted a pretty little box and I wanted it to be a little bit special. So I had to start from sort of basics to measure everything up. So these side pieces I am folding in, and before I put my hard fold in, I'm just making sure that these edges match up, and I'm putting those triangular pieces in folding inwards. Okay, so there's all those pieces, and now while it's flat, we're gonna put the designer series paper on. So the side pieces, this box isn't actually a perfect cube. It's 2 inches tall, but it's wider, and I can't remember how wide that actually is. 2 1/4. But that's what it what fitted the little candle. So I'm going to use some liquid adhesive, and I'm going to pop each of these on. I'll try and do it as quickly as I can. And I'm also just going to try and orientate the design so it doesn't look sort of too odd. So like here, for instance, we've got the little bird there, and you want to make sure that you put this on the what's going to be the outside of the box, and I'm turning it just to make sure that I do put it the right way round, because it would be just like me to get so carried away that I get the obvious right way up things the wrong way. So let's see, we'd pop that one that way, and then finally this one. Now, whilst the sides are not perfectly square, the corner pieces are, because we scored at 2 inches all round. These corner pieces are 2 by 2. So when it comes to what we're going to do now is we're going to attach the triangles to these corner pieces. So my pieces of designer series paper for here are cut 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and then I've cut them corner to corner to get my triangles. And let me just show you how I do that. So this cutter, this dark line here, that is where the blade, that's the cutting line, that's where the blade runs. So all I'm going to do is cut from corner to corner. So I'm lining up the two opposite corners on that cutting line, and I'm going to close this, and then I'm just going to cut in half, and there we're done. So I've already done the others, so now we're just going to attach. So to make it easier again, I'm going to flip over and have it flat, and we're going to pop these pieces down. Now you don't need an awful lot of adhesive, and you'll find that it is just the tiniest of borders. I'll try and see if I can you see it's just the tiniest of borders that we're left with, and that's what I want. Now I am not going to stress to try and pair these up. I don't think it's going to notice, and so I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, now I've given you dimensions, but you don't need to worry too much about jotting them down while watching the video. If you look below this video, you will see that there is a link to my online, there is a link, and that will take you to my blog, and there you will find the dimensions, as well as a link to my online store where you can go ahead and order these goodies for yourself. Now you can change these colors out. I would imagine that if we did like Christmas paper, it would make a great little Christmas gift box. You imagine them on your Christmas table. Maybe have one for each person that's joining you for your Christmas meal, and there'd be a little something in there, maybe a candle, maybe something else that you could find that would fit into this size box. Okay, there we go, a couple more pieces. Thank you very much for your patience. It's quite relaxing putting these bits together. Let me see. She says, and then have to twiddle and twirl. But can you see what I mean about making sure that you have a non-directional paper? It makes it so much easier if you don't have to worry about a design. If you've got as I'm trying to think out loud here, if you have a design that, I've got too much on there, I don't want all of that. If you have a design that is directional, you probably find you have to cut out two pieces of paper to get them to go in. So stripes to get them all going in the same direction. You'd have to do that. Okay, it means that you have enough to make a second box, but why do that? So now what I'm going to do is I am going to tape these pieces down, and I'm using the double-sided tear and tape, but I have already cut the pieces. So again, just making sure that those edges line up. I'm just gonna line those down, lay those down. So I'm just putting the tape on the 2 pieces that are going to be folded in. I can do this a little faster, I think, by putting them all down and then by lifting them all up together. Now you want to make sure that you have the bottom piece and the top piece sort of going the same way all around. It just looks better that way. So I'm going to make sure my right hand side goes down first and my left hand side goes down second. I don't know, it's just me, I think, looking at it and thinking, if they're odd, then it doesn't sit comfortably with me. Alrighty, so then we've got this and this bit. That means our box is very nearly done. So we're just going to lie that one down, and then now the reason that I've got these flaps, and we've got the triangles, and we've got the designer series paper on those triangles, is that we need to make sure that these side pieces are heavy. That way, when you open the box, they flop down better. So I'm just going to go in and use my bone folder to really put my firm the creases in. Now we have got little pockets here. You could always put little things like, you know, little sayings or little poems, or maybe coins. You could pop coins in there. And then I'm going to just go back in and just make sure that those folds are really good, so that when, as I say, when you open up the box like that, they all flop open nicely. So that's that part of the box. Now, because what I'm putting in the box is sort of quite weighty, I just want to reinforce the bottom a little bit. So I'm using a piece of contrasting card. This is Crumb Cake, and I think this is like 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. I think that's what that is. And I'm going to be using some of the foam adhesive sheet. Now these are like sheets that you would make Stampin' dimensionals with, but it's a nice solid chunk. And the reason I'm doing that is that if I just use dimensionals, the weight of the little with dimensionals on each corner might make this sag a little bit. Oh dear, what have I got there? Ooh. Okay, so we're going to have to change that one out in a moment. So that's going to go on there to give it a little bit of extra weight. And then that part of our box is done. So now we're going to move on to the lid. And I'm going to start the lid by just doing a tiny little bit of stamping. And that's because the edges looked a weeny bit plain to me. So I've got this leaf, and it's from the same stamp set that I'm using for my greeting, and it's Hydrangea Haven, and there's a tiny little leaf, and I'm going to be using the For You. So I just thought, well, we just put a little bit of colour on the side, and I'm just using Early Espresso ink, and there we go. Right, I feel happy now. Now I haven't done the corners because now we're going to cut our tabs. So I'm going to cut the tab up to that score line if you can just see there. And I've just put in a little notch, and so cut and notch and notch, and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Cut, notch, notch. All right, so there's our lid. And now we're going to put the folds in. Put the folds in with nice, crisp, and using my bone folder. That saves your fingers. You can use your fingers. If you don't have a bone folder, you can actually use some scissors. So make sure that they're closed and safe, and you can use the handle of your scissors like that. All right. So now I'm going to put some little tabs of double-sided tape. This is the tear and tape. And to pop them on each of those little tabs like this. Again, I'm going to use my bone folder, or you could use your handle of your scissors just to go ahead and put those in. Since I don't have any nails, I find that I can pull the backing off of the double-sided tape without my pick your tool. So I'm just lining up the corner of the box with the cut edge. There we go. And the last one. There we go. So there's the lid, and keep everything crossed that it fits. Yay! Yay me. Oh, excuse me. So there's the box. Now we're just going to decorate up the lid. So I have cut a piece of Blackberry Bliss, and this is going to be 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. And then my top, that piece, can you see that beautiful brushed gold? That is from this pack, which is the gold and rose gold metallic paper. So this is the rose gold, and then the gold. You can see the difference between the two of them. So I've used that. And I'm also going to use some of this new ribbon, which is called, it's gold, and it's just called Go Shimmer ribbon. So again, a lovely ribbon. So I'm going to cut a piece off that will fit around my box. And you want to be careful with this because this is metallic and it will ruin your ribbon scissors. So I am just going to use an old pair of scissors to cut that. And I'm going to attach this to the back, and I'm just using some tape, Scotch tape, just to hold that in place. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to give that a good old burnish. And then back with another piece of the, she's lost it. I had it all here beautifully, but we can get another piece. Here it is. I'm going to do the same. You could use dimensionals, but I'm going to use the same piece of foam adhesive. I'm just going to trim that up. This time I make sure I put it on the right side, like that. Take the backing off, and then I'm going to just pop it on the top of my box. Take the lid off. And I'm going to work these. You need to work these just a little bit to make sure that they do the exploding that we want it to do. All right. So last little bit of decoration that we're going to do is using the Blackberry Beauty ephemera pack. Now, this is going to make your decorating and your card creation really quick because they are pre-printed and laser cut, and like there's this owl and oak leaves, and then there's some in here that are gold foiled, and there are labels and tags, and then we've got another one here, so more labels. So this one, I'm going to use this little piece here, but there's actually another one that you could have that you could use as a little frame, and then these are all frames, and then we've got little flags there as well. And then I'm also going to use one of the smallest pieces that I have in there, which is this one. So you basically get 2 of each of these and 1 of those. As I say, they are stunningly gorgeous, and they can make your card creation go really, really fast. So my greeting, I am just going to stamp on here, and I'm going to stamp it toward one end because I want my little flowery, leafy, decorative piece to be shown on there. So again, I'm just using the Early Espresso ink, and just to remind you that it came from the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. Then I'm going to use some mini dimensionals because this is quite a small piece. I'm just going to pop those on like that, and that's going to go over my piece of ribbon. And then I've got my little decorative piece. And what I want to happen is I want it to sort of come down like that to go around my greeting, but I want to be able to tuck the little stem under my ribbon there. So I am going to put the tiniest dot of liquid adhesive where I think it's going to get to the hit the label. Oh, I think I got it right. And then my bow, made from the same ribbon, of course. I do have videos on how I tie my bows, so you can see how I do those. I'm going to firmly press, and there we're done. Well, I want to thank you for your patience because this was quite a long video, but it's got quite a complex little box. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please go ahead and give my video a thumbs up if you have, and if you haven't done already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you'll get notified every time I post another video. Well, thank you, and bye for now.